What's going on, gamers? Wanted to show you a quick Exodus Crash GM Nightfall guide. As you see, I'm on my Banner Shield Titan with a auto rifle, Chroma Rush, Divinity, and Threaded Needle. I'm running Banner Shield, and here are my mods. Dado was on a Well Warlock with Phoenix chest piece. Also had on a bow with Jotun, actually, and a sword. Sneak was running a Stasis Warlock with Ager's Scepter, a solar bow for overloads to help out with the divinity, and he was running a Threaded Needle fusion. We wanted to run some fusion rifles because we knew that everybody was running swords. We actually did a sword run, and it'll show you in the end of the video kind of how that boss room went. Really, it's kind of pick your poison. I found with swords that you really had to wait for enemies to come to you, when kind of your energy weapons, if you had on something like Jotun or Null Composure or Cartesian or even a Telesto, you can kind of kill everything whenever you wanted to. You could challenge champions, you could challenge the boss, push them, and kind of just run the enemies over instead of waiting with your sword. Plus, it's a high risk, high reward for the sword strat because you could go to orbit. We also found out in the boss room when we get there is to not panic super, because if you panic super, you could definitely go to orbit. So what we're doing in this plate room is we're pushing in and we're trying to kill the enemies in small groups. How you do this is you stand on the plate and get off every 5%. So pretty much every time enemies start spawning, you want to get off that plate and kill enemies in a smaller rotation of adds, because if you get two groups, it kind of, you get overwhelmed, and so many overload champions spawn and you can absolutely go to orbit because of that. So what we're doing here is we're just taking our time, honestly, just taking our, I never really used my Banner Shield this whole Nightfall until the boss room. I think I just said, hey, I'll pop a super if I really want to. But what I'm doing here is I'm just controlling these champions, and as you see, that scepter with Divinity on just runs these ads over. I think it performed really well in this Nightfall. I was kind of shocked by it. Again, we were just trying to run something different because a lot of people might be dying with sword runs, so I hope something like this, switching it up, kind of shows you that there's diversity in the strats. Plus, we have so many fusion rifle mods in our seasonal artifact. There goes that Jotun. Jotun, I actually did a run with Jotun. It actually performs really well. So again, what we're doing here is we're just chaining supers, paying attention to the enemies, and pretty much I'm on stun duty. I have overload and anti-barrier on, and as you see there, the scepter charged prevented that anti-barrier from getting his overshield. I'm telling you, do not sleep on that trace rifle. It is really good. So when you kill that first servitor, all these champions start spawning. It's really annoying, but again, if you take your time, hit your special finishers, get your teammates some ammo, you can kind of run these guys over. So pretty much that's why we have a secondary bow on, just in case if I'm out of ammo, we always have some form of way to stun the champions. There goes that scepter again, running over the champs. Now again, you could use something like Divinity with double Izanagi, but not everybody has the Izanagi with Catalyst. Some players might be returning this season, so they only have certain weapons that you can use. I don't think Banner Shield's really like the play, but you do need it for the boss room. If I could give you any advice on character loadout, I would run one Stasis Warlock, one Well Warlock, and a Banner Shield. The reason why is because if you're doing the chaining well strat with the Banner Shield, if a Warlock does not have that well, you're kind of pinched in the boss room, and I don't want that to happen to anybody, so I'm really pushing people to use Stasis. Again, Jotun going to work. I actually used Jotun, it was insane, but glad Dado used that because it was actually showing diversity. So right here, we're just taking our time, and this is what's nice about the linear fusion rifle, that Threaded Needle doing work on the enemies as well. And you know, we're just gonna push through this room the best as we can. There's that scepter, absolutely just annihilating everything, and the way it clears ads is just insane. So when you pair that with Stasis, it's kind of insane. Wanted to skip through that next part because it was literally just running through the lights, taking your time. You're not gonna believe how I died in this Nightfall coming up here soon. I literally killed the tank and got bonked in the head by the barrel of the weapon. I was just so shocked. Right here, you want to take your time though and watch out for that skiff turret from the ship. It did kill me in 2 runs. I like coming over here to the right, just getting away from the ads. I wanted to come up here and make sure that all these enemies were dead, because honestly 3-4 of these ads start shooting you in a GM and you're kind of falling over and getting ran over. As you see, that skiff turret was trying to shoot them. Very annoying to deal with. You know, the only bad thing about coming this way fighting this walker is you can't see the crit spot, and we realized that and we're like, okay, cool, can't shoot it, gotta move. Oh well, let's scoot up. I should be on the right side here, but I'm not. But yeah, be careful of that walker. When that walker explodes, you can die. Again, I just want to point out that there's multiple loadouts that you can run in this Nightfall. You just have to use what is pretty much your preference. Just make sure that if you're running a sword, you do have on passive guard. When you do have your sword out, you take less damage. Sorry. But right here, I'm pretty much just controlling every single champion with divinity, making sure that they don't hurt my teammates, and hitting special finishers, because being on a Titan, my super's really not being used this whole Nightfall, and I'm saving it for the boss room. When we get up in the boss room, you can do this without using any supers right off the bat. So pay attention to when this boss spawns. Get the divinity on him, get him out. 2 players paying at distance, and Dado using the sword. He's going to disappear here. You still don't need to use a super up until this point. Again, we're going to push him, get him out. I'm trying to play my distance here, calling out teammates, help, get this guy out of here. When he disappears now, here's your chance to kind of clear up with healing rifts and use that banner shield right now and get a res. Only super used so far. Trust me, you don't need to spam your wells and spam your supers here. It was just unlucky here that they got tagged by enemies. You don't need it, just because you really don't want to wait for your supers to come back. Again, this was a slow run, but we were just trying to take our time here. Right here, you can actually stop killing ads and wait for my super to come back the very next round, but I knew I'd get it back anyways. This is where the fight kind of turns to a panic mode, because now you have 2 anti-barriers on you. You have the boss right in front of you, but this is where stasis just freezes everything, and I'm able to just shoot the barriers through the boss, standing in the well. We're using the scepter, making sure that these champions don't heal up, and it's honestly just deleting everything. We don't have to run up there and sword anything. We don't have to worry about hitting special finishers, because we saved our ammo for this purpose of the boss fight. Right now, we're just playing our time. I know that the well's getting ready to run out, but everything's dead. I don't even have banner shield yet. We're just killing the ads. We're not even worried about it. We're just like, hey, it's all good. He pushed us. Banner shield them if you have it, or stand in that rift like I was doing. I just put the divinity on him, made sure he died, didn't really care. Boss died. He's dead. Again, you can totally take your time here and understand what really it did for you. This run, I was on my warlock and we ran swords, so I kind of wanted to show you the difference. So right now we're using that scepter, we're using the Jotun, we're using the divinity, and we're kind of just taking our time, using our nades, going out for the boss, getting him out. That first 2, you really want to make sure that he's out of here. We did have an invis hunter, and we ran our wells. So as you see, first 2 round of ads, make sure they're disappeared. Didn't even use my well yet. Now that he's returned and the barrier champions are spawning, we definitely want to get them out as fast as we can. We know that the barrier champs are out, but we just popped the well, so we know we have plenty of time to take these guys out. This is what's really nice about not rushing with your supers. We're ignoring the boss unless he's just standing there, stacking our invis, going straight for those barriers. Again, it is risky a little bit, but we just want to make sure that that barrier champion is no longer in the fight, because that is your main focus. As you see right now, some people might panic. We don't have a well. What do? We're just sitting back using the healing rift, using nades. Oh, that nade I just threw. Nice job. But again, the freeze. And now we're waiting, realizing that we have 1 champion left. And now we finally use our tether. If you rush supers in this room, I'm telling you, You're going to ask your teammates, do they have their super? You're going to get overran in that corner, and you're just not going to know what to do. So try and be patient with your supers. I understand that I'm getting my well back. Boss is coming back. Going to be a free dub. But again, some people just can't stay alive with their swords. You got to understand that some people just struggle with this. You don't need to run a certain loadout. You just need to understand, oh boy, we almost died. Clyde throws the nade though. Boss is gonna die to that. Easy dub. It just shows you how quick that something can go wrong. So I really hope this video helped. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, ladies and gentlemen. We're on our way to 50K. But hopefully this commentary of this week's GM Nightfall has helped you out. Later, boys.